If she's annoying, yeah, it's annoying. If someone's asking you questions and you're getting really fucking annoyed, it's probably not the question.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
It looks like Joe Rogan has stepped into the Snow White drama, and trust us, he did not hold back. With rumors swirling about Rachel Zegler getting the axe from Disney's controversial remake, Joe's take on the whole fiasco has the internet buzzing. Did Disney really fire their leading lady? And what does Rogan think about her creepy and weird comments on the original Snow White? Get ready, because we've got all the juicy details you won't hear anywhere else. Last week, Disney dropped the latest trailer for Snow White, and to no one's surprise, it became an instant sensation, for all the wrong reasons. The trailer has racked up over 750,000 dislikes compared to just 30,000 likes, making it one of the most disliked trailers in recent Disney history. The comment section is ablaze with criticism aimed directly at Disney, further tarnishing the studio's already fragile reputation. Many see the film as a symbol of everything wrong with Disney in 2024. The backlash feels well-deserved. The once beloved legacy of Snow White has been torn apart by baffling creative decisions, leaving audiences to ask, how did Disney mess up one of its most iconic properties so badly? Let's break down the disaster step by step. For starters, the film initially cast Snow White alongside a group of magical, diverse creatures instead of the beloved dwarves. This was an attempt to avoid controversy over outdated stereotypes. However, when actors with dwarfism voiced concerns about being excluded, Disney shifted direction again. In its latest move, the studio has decided to render the dwarves entirely in CGI. The result is a visually jarring, lifeless spectacle that completely misses the heart of the story while alienating audiences. Disney's decision-making here is truly perplexing. The whole point of live-action adaptations is to bring beloved animated classics into the real world, yet this version feels more artificial than ever. From the trailer, the CGI characters look like plastic, cartoonish renditions, utterly lacking in charm and authenticity. The backlash against these changes began long before the teaser was released, but Disney's repeated missteps have turned what might have been constructive criticism into outright hostility. At the center of the controversy is Rachel Zegler, cast as Snow White. Initially, her casting was met with cautious optimism, but her public comments about the original film quickly eroded that goodwill. She famously dismissed the 1937 classic as extremely dated, calling the romance creepy and weird.
It's no longer 1937.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. It's really not about the love story at all.
Imagine being chosen to play one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history, only to openly disparage the story that made her famous. Fans saw this as a direct insult, not just to the original creators, but to generations of viewers who cherished the timeless tale. Making matters worse, Disney appeared to support Zegler's remarks. By allowing her to openly criticize the original story, the studio sent a clear message. It lacks respect for its own legacy and its loyal fan base. It was a PR disaster that could have been avoided with a thoughtful response. Instead, Disney doubled down on its divisive messaging, alienating even its most loyal supporters. The studio's attempts at damage control only made things worse. Rachel Zegler was sent on a press tour, where she made half-hearted efforts to praise the project. But the damage was already done. Her initial comments had gone viral, and audiences were unimpressed by her sudden change in tone. The situation was further exacerbated by the trailer itself, where Zegler's portrayal of Snow White bore little resemblance to the sweet, kind-hearted princess fans remember. Instead, she came across as brash, condescending, and self-righteous, qualities that felt entirely out of place for the character. The controversy deepens when examining Disney's broader motivations. Many fans believe the studio has abandoned its storytelling roots in favor of promoting political messages and virtue signaling. The changes to Snow White reflect a growing trend in Disney's recent projects. Traditional narratives are being replaced with modern, strong female leads who often lack depth or relatability. While strong female characters are absolutely welcome, these particular changes feel forced and hollow, stripping away the charm and timelessness that made the original Snow White resonate with audiences. Peter Dinklage's criticism of the Seven Dwarfs added another layer of complexity. The actor labeled the original depiction backward, prompting Disney to overhaul the characters entirely.
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
While Dinklage's comments were well-intentioned, many fans and even some industry insiders found his stance hypocritical, given his history of taking roles in fantastical settings. His remarks effectively closed the door on opportunities for other actors with dwarfism, a move many viewed as counterproductive. The decision to replace the dwarves with CGI characters only added to the controversy, with fans mourning the loss of practical effects and genuine performances. Matters worsened when set leaks revealed photos of the so-called magical creatures, featuring cheap costumes and uninspired designs. Disney initially denied the leaks, but the backlash was swift and unforgiving. The studio eventually confirmed the images were real, promising they would be enhanced with CGI. However, if the trailer is any indication, those improvements were lackluster at best. Then there's the issue of tone. In the original story, Snow White's kindness and humility were central to her character. Yet the trailer and leaked footage suggest a complete departure from these qualities. In one scene, Snow White is seen lecturing the dwarves on how to clean their own home, coming across as smug and overbearing rather than warm or inspiring. She feels more like a villain than the evil queen herself. Speaking of the evil queen, Gal Gadot's performance has sparked its own debate. Initially, Gadot and Zegler appeared to have a good working relationship, often praising each other during interviews. However, as time passed, cracks began to show. Fans noted a stark contrast between Gadot's polished, professional demeanor and Zegler's often self-centered behavior. This dynamic has fueled speculation about behind-the-scenes tensions, with some even suggesting the two actresses actively dislike each other. Gadot's political stance added yet another layer of controversy. As an outspoken supporter of Israel, her position clashed with Zegler's vocal support for Palestine. While both women are entitled to their opinions, the tension between them became a distraction from the film itself. Disney's decision to downplay Gadot's role in the teaser trailer only added to the chaos, leaving audiences to speculate how these internal conflicts might have impacted the final product. Ultimately, this Snow White adaptation feels like a perfect storm of bad decisions. From misguided casting and tone-deaf marketing to divisive politics and an over-reliance on CGI, the film exemplifies everything critics argue is wrong with Disney today. It's a heartbreaking fall from grace for a studio that once set the gold standard for animated storytelling. Instead of honoring its legacy, Disney seems intent on dismantling it piece by piece. What should have been a celebration of one of Walt Disney's greatest achievements has turned into a cautionary tale about what happens when a studio loses touch with its audience. Fans aren't just upset about Snow White, they're mourning the loss of the magic that once defined Disney. Whether the studio can recover from this debacle remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, this Snow White remake will be remembered as one of Disney's most infamous failures.